Welcome to another episode of Under the Agency Hood, an interview series designed to shine a light on how agencies think and how they deliver value to their clients. My name is Mark Sneider. I'm founder and CEO of RSW US. We're the nation's leading outsourced new business firm, working primarily with marketing service agencies and other professional service firms. And today we're here with Michelle Abdow, the president of Market Mentors. Market Mentors is a full service, fully integrated media, marketing, and communications agency that's always innovating, always bringing new ideas to clients, always challenging conventional thinking, and always listening and acting on their clients' needs. The agency is focused on helping marketers in the healthcare, credit union, banking, and manufacturing industries. They've been successfully supporting brands in these categories since the start of the agency back in 2003. So I want to welcome Michelle Abdow. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us today.
Mark, thank you for having me. That was a really nice introduction. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Yeah, no, it's all good and all great. You've definitely got built up a really nice marketing service firm. So congratulations for
Thank
that.
you.
Probably hard to believe that it's been as long as it's been, I would imagine.
I know. Well, I feel like I feel as young as the agency is old. So
That's a good thing. I hear you. So, before we dive deep into the topics that we're going to talk about today, can you tell me a little bit about Market Mentors, who you are, what you do? You know, if you had to define sort of a superpower of the agency and the value that you bring to your clients, kind of what would that be?
sure. Thank you. So, a lot of full service shops are a dime a dozen. I'd like to think that we're a little bit unique. My background is media. I started back in the day of having to deliver tapes to different TV and radio stations to an age where we're so digitally savvy and everything is done over the internet. So I've seen a lot of changes. And when I started the agency, we were selling advertising to companies that didn't even have websites yet. So think about that for a minute.
Wow.
It
Yeah,
shows
crazy.
little bit how things have changed. So full service shop, background in media, kind of rode the .com wave and had gotten some good training in the early ages of the .com boom. So it's been pretty intuitive in terms of the offerings that we've had. Um, so full service, I think one of our niches is really taking the peso model and really amplifying it. So peso is paid media, earned media, shared media, and owned media. And where we do our best work is when we're able to kind of infiltrate, if you will, and take that proactive approach for our clients.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, you play in a number of different categories, and I'm just curious, does that broader reach across categories help you and your clients? And if so, how would you define sort of how that helps?
Yeah, I'll kind of go backwards. I think when I first started, I admired the firms that really had that specialized niche. And I thought maybe we would also have that niche. But, 2000, 2008, I was so grateful that we had
Mm,
some versatility in our
yeah,
client base because we watched a lot of agencies suffer from that. And then
definitely.
fast forward to the pandemic, the same thing, right? If we were all healthcare, we would have been in big trouble. So,
Yeah.
um, the verticals that we really do well in are the ones that are more regulated. So banking, healthcare,
Yeah.
and manufacturing. Think about the Department of Defense and aerospace and things of that nature. So we kind of like to stay in this space where we have to not only be creative, but we also have to think strategically on how we can make sure we're doing things the right way and being pretty
Yeah.
versatile.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't really think about sort of that through line that connects all of those categories and sort of the sophistication of what they're doing and the regulatory challenges that you have to deal with. I would imagine that, certainly not every agency is going to be equipped to be able to sort of carry that load.
Yeah, it's, or the ideas might be there and they're great ideas, but at the same time, it'll never get approved. Compliance
Right.
isn't going to approve it. That, it puts them at risk with CMMC and all the things that they want to do. So we've got to be really careful.
Right, right. Yeah. Is there one category that you operate in that you would say is sort of most challenging, and if so, why? And then can you give me an idea of a particularly tough challenge that you dealt with in that category, and how you helped, uniquely, creatively solve it for that client?
Well, I think manufacturing has its own level of complexities because
Okay.
when you look at banking, it's all regulated, FDIC, equal housing lender, you have to follow compliance. It's one governing body. So what works for one bank usually is going to work for another. Whereas manufacturing, there are different verticals, different sectors. Some are ISO compliant, others aren't. Some are following all the rules and regulations with CMMC. Some aren't quite there yet. So there's a lot of nuances when it comes to the manufacturing sector. So we just have learned how to navigate the landscape. Some are international, some are more here stateside. So it's just learning what we can
Yeah.
and can't do, and making sure that we're buttoned up along the way.
Yeah. Do you find that manufacturing is a little bit more challenging because maybe they aren't as sort of advanced in terms of the application of different marketing tools and strategies?
Some of them, marketing is a foreign language to them. And so
Okay.
we might even be dealing with operators that are more engineer based. So we have to kind of
Right.
walk them through the lead generation, right? At the end of the day, that's what most of them care about, is how they're going to drive leads, whether it's through distribution or if it's their direct sellers.
Right, right. Okay, okay, that's cool. And I noticed that you talk about a process that you call Lift. I saw it on your site. Can you tell
Yeah.
me why you started that and give me an idea of how it works, how it helps clients?
Yeah, so we operate on EOS, the Entrepreneur's Operating System,
Yep.
based off the book Traction by Gino Wickman. And EOS calls for you to have three uniques. What makes you different, right? You take a full service agency, we're generalists at the end of the day. So what makes us different? Some
Mm-hmm.
agencies might say that it's the verticals that they serve that makes them different, but we took a little bit of a different approach. The first is, we like to say, we build badass audiences, right? So
Okay.
that's in my wheelhouse, right? Back in the day, we early adopters of data, whether it's Nielsen, and having all kinds of qualitative and quantitative data when we're placing media. And now it's on steroids, right? We can home in on, where people are, what they're watching, where they're clicking, and all of the things. So we like to say we build badass audiences, making sure that we are targeting the group that our clients want to go after
Yeah.
and target. The second is our adaptation of AI. I know that
Okay.
there has been Sam Altman has been said to, AI is going to kill ad agencies, and of course that like made me fueled my fire, and I'm like, okay, we're going to adopt this. And so we've adopted this expression that we have coined ourselves: automate the ordinary, humanize the extraordinary. And we're using AI across every single department. And we've adopted a whole AI task force. The whole entire agency is part of that, and it's all about learning and growing and using AI ethically, and
Hmm.
making sure that we're taking our clients along the journey with us. And then the third part is how we immerse ourselves with our clients, and we really become an extension of their brand and their team. And that is our LIFT methodology. So LIFT stands for living, L for living and breathing the brand. I is investing in success defined by data. F is fearless, not reckless. We don't want to make some decisions and throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. We want to make sure that we're doing it the right way. And then T is testing and analyzing and making changes along the way. So that's our lift process. And so
Yeah, that,
those
yeah, go
three,
ahead. I'm sorry.
those three are what we consider, our uniques.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Do you sort of try and embed that process, that lift process, into every relationship, every opportunity that comes your way in some form or fashion?
Yeah, I think Lyft wrote itself. It's how we roll every single day. We really do want to be the extension of our clients' business and their brand and their team. Some clients will bring us on and we are fully integrated. We're the ones writing and driving the strategy. Others say, look, this is what my goal and objective is for the year. Tell me, what tactics do we need to take to get there? And so we're writing
Yeah.
that plan. So it's just how we immerse ourselves and how we show up as being a true partner.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've lots of agencies have their own processes.
Mhm.
It's not often. In fact, I can't say that I've ever heard of an agency drop an element of sort of this emotional uh, sort of character, your whole fearless
Mm.
notion. You don't see stuff like that in agency processes, and to embed that into Lyft as part of sort of the overriding or a central tenet to how you approach
Yeah.
client issues is unique and telling. I mean, you talked about badass audiences, you know
Yeah.
you know, not being, I mean, being fearless and really coming to the table with the ideas that you think are going to best help your clients achieve success is pretty cool and pretty
That's what it's
different.
all about at the end of the day, right? What makes us different is no different than, I've watched some of your episodes and I'm like, oh wow, that could be similar to how we talk about ourselves. And
Yeah.
so, it's really how do you differentiate in the sea of sameness? And so Lyft is one of our unique approaches.
Yep, that's awesome. You already talked about AI, but I'm just curious as it relates to sort of your client relationships. What are you hearing from clients? Are they, trying to direct you in a certain way? I interviewed an agency recently who has some pretty large clients who have baked into their MSAs that they're basically not allowed to use AI for anything.
Mhm.
What are you hearing from your clients, and how are they dealing with sort of what's going on in the world of AI?
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag. We have some that are really intuitive, that are using it themselves, that feel that it can take up a lot of things, and we kind of laugh because we'll get an email from them. We're like, okay, come on now, let's talk about this email that you just sent to me. I know you didn't write it, so we'll call them and say, okay, tell me how you're really feeling because I don't really know if this is,
Oh
we like to
my.
have some fun with it. Our writers, it's so funny. Our writing department, they're all very phenomenal writers. Like English language is their baby, and they were always using the M dash, and now I'm like, you can't use M dashes anymore because ChatGPT loves M dashes. So if you put M dashes in there, the client's going to think that we used AI to write the content. So it's kind of turned into this whole internal conversation wrapped around ChatGPT's irregular uses of M dashes.
What are M dashes?
Oh my goodness, Mark. It's the dash. Okay, there's M dashes and there's N dashes. Don't ask me which ones are which. I mean, I am a creative writer by
Yeah.
training. So if I had my way, I would just put ellipses in between everything just to emphasize the pause before a reader is going
Right.
to read the script. Um, but we kind of have some fun wrapped around the whole use of AI and what is being generated. But we also want to be ethical. And the way I look at it is AI is um, how can I say it? It's very logical, and good creative is illogical. So AI is not there yet to help with
Okay.
good creative ideation. So part of our AI task force, we brought the creatives together and we said, look, I want you to do a fun project together now that we've advanced our use of AI. And we had them do an entire video project as a team, and they were not allowed to do any of the thinking themselves. So the only thinking was which AI tool they should use. And so from concept to the whole video creation, and then the only other thing that they used traditional means were to stitch together the 8-second clips because it was only doing 8-second clips. And we wrote a blog about it. I mean, it is far from perfect. And that's what I like to share with our clients. Like, it is far from perfect. The
Yeah.
concept was fun. It was like a dating app, but for marketing agencies. I'd encourage any agencies out there to go watch it because it's really funny.
Yeah.
It's just like an old school marketing guy smoking a
I'll check
cigarette.
it out.
So, it's far from perfect. And the whole goal is to use it to help you get there, but you got to put the finishing touches on it. And that's
Yeah.
that humanizing part that we talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. I love that AI is logical and great creative is illogical. That's
Yeah.
kind of a cool way to think about it. And Great. So my last question today is, if a marketer were looking for a new agency, what would you tell them the reasons why they should consider market mentors beyond, maybe beyond some of the things we talked about, or, feel free to sort of highlight some of those things again.
I think when you hire an agency, you're hiring a whole host of subject matter experts. So you can tap into whichever need you have at the moment. So whether it's video, whether it's creative, whether it's public relations and earning those media opportunities, or digital media. And we find that digital advertising, everyone says I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to have my admin run my Google campaign. But if they're not trained and they don't understand how the algorithms work and how to build those audiences, you're basically throwing your money away. So I think what we try to encourage is tap into us for what you need, and we're going to help you kind of drive and steer the ship appropriately and
Yep.
make recommendations along the way. So even if you have that in-house team, we can help augment it, and we can be that sounding board for them for creative thinking, for strategies and things of that nature.
Right. That's great. That's great. Yeah. I mean, definitely in-house is certainly not going away, and being an agency that can work well within the context of that sort of environment is super important. So that's great. Well, listen, this has been a great conversation. Learned a lot about market mentors that I didn't know just from looking at your website, reading your materials. But no, I think you've got a great you know you've positioned yourself well to be a very different kind of generalist agency, not only in terms of the level of sophistication and knowledge you need to work across the categories that you operate in, but also sort of your character and approach to how you deal with client challenges. And I think that, there are too many agencies out there that kind of take the safe route and listen to what their clients say and do as they are told, and some of that is fine, but at the end of the day, marketers don't hire agencies to just sort of do stuff. They hire agencies to be good smart thinkers and
Mhm.
good strategic partners, and it sounds like that's your approach and the way you work with your clients. So
I would say
applaud that.
we're the antithesis of an order taker. Our job is to be that partner and not take the order. At the end of the
Yeah,
day, if the client wants us to do something, by all means, we'll
sure.
do it. But if we feel differently, we're going to challenge the thinking and
Yeah,
why we're recommending what we're recommending. But at the end of the day,
right.
it's their dollar, so we'll spend it the way in which they want us to ultimately spend it. But
Yeah.
it has to be a partnership.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, listen, appreciate the time, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks,
And
Mark. I appreciate it. Have
yeah,
a great
yeah.
weekend.